Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be making this fantastic looking pizza and we're going to be using an 80% dough. So we need 800 grams of water, 1 gram of yeast, and what flour are we using? Well, we're going to be using that stuff that's behind, the Caputo Nuvola. So make sure you give that yeast a really great mix, and once it's all dissolved in, we then need to add out the flour. So there's the Nuvola Caputo, and we're going to add about 500 grams to the bowl, so basically half the bag. And then we're going to gradually start to add in the water. So what we need to do next is keep adding in the water, and eventually this mix starts to go into a bit more of a runny batter. So add in 150 grams more of flour. So I've just loosely measured it out there on the video, but about 150 grams should do it. And then continue to mix it all in and together. Then we just need to add the rest of the water. And what you'll see is that this will then turn into a batter type mix. So this stuff is really good flour, the Caputo Nuvola. And what I've noticed with this is that you get a really nice puffy crust and a really nice finish on the pizza, really light kind of pizza. So because we're going with high hydration, we're going to do this in stages. So we're going to let this now rest for about an hour. So this is just to show you what it looks like for consistency. So it is a fairly like a batter, a thick batter. So let's cover that for an hour and let's leave it alone. So cover with a shower cap and just leave it at room temperature. So after 1 hour, let's take the cap off. Let's have a look at that pizza dough. And as you can see, 1 or 2 more air bubbles in there, but nothing more than that. So we're going to add another 150 grams of flour, and then we're going to give this a mix. So whilst we're doing that, this is a high hydration dough, and one of the things you'll notice on some of the videos is people saying you can't do it by hand. Well, this method I think is perfect for those who don't want to use a mixer or don't have a mixer. Some of them are very expensive, of course, so this I think is a perfect way of doing it. So once that's mixed in, you'll see that it's a little bit thicker than it was previously, and you can start to see that gluten forming. It's becoming a bit more stretchy. So we're going to cover that up and we're going to leave it for another hour. So after the hour, let's uncover. Let's have a look at that pizza dough, and as you can see now it's a bit thicker, it's got a bit more of a wobble on it. So another 150 grams of Caputo Nuvola going in. Let's get that mixed round, just excuse the bit that's just flashed out of the bowl. So we'll give that a good mix round. Once that's all in there, add the rest of the bag of flour onto the work surface, and then we're going to start to knead the dough and mix all that remaining flour in. Needs a really good scrape out that bowl to make sure that we've got every single scrap of pizza dough, and to make sure that we can get those 7 pizza bases. So there we go, just keen it a good scrape out. You've got to just do it. Get your hands in there, get them dirty. This is one of the beauties of not having a mixer, that you have to get your hands a little bit more dirty making the pizza dough. And whilst I'm finishing that off, don't forget, check out the other videos in the pizza flour library. So here we go, we'll start to mix the flour and the dough together and give it a knead as well. So it's a very wet dough, so be prepared for it to stick everywhere, including on the work surface, including your hands, including everything. But it's all part of the fun of making great pizza, and without a mixer, of course. So what I'm doing here now is a bit of a fold pinch technique, and just trying to build that gluten up within the dough. And what you'll see on the work surface is becoming more and more sticky. It's sticking to that work surface more, but as time goes on, it does start to form and become a bit more solid, and you'll notice this in a second. So as I say, Caputo Nuvola is a really good flour, and it's great for long proofs as well as short ones. Here we go then. So what I need to do next is use a scraper and scrape it into a bit more of a tighter bowl. So I'm not going to lift it off the work surface just yet. and we'll cover it with a clean mixing bowl. So just scraping it so it's a little bit more tighter. So I'm not going to attempt to make into a big bowl. So I'm just going to now leave it for an hour. So like magic, let's lift it off, and there you go, you can start to see the gluten, which is good. So we'll lift that really, really high up, and as you'll notice, it's not breaking, it's not ripping. So that's good, because when we start to make the pizza base and we start to open the pizza base out, it knows that when you're going to put it in the oven, you're not going to have any issues with it tearing and sticking. So there we go, let's put all that down to one side. And we'll move on. So next bit is we're going to add 20 grams of salt into the pizza dough. So there we go, just add it. And I'm going to use a scraper here just to fold that salt in. So we've got a nice even distribution of salt throughout the dough. So whilst we're adding the rest of the salt, don't forget, if you've got any requests or anything pizza related, drop me a line in the comments. And we will see what we can do with your request. So we need to knead all that salt in, and we need to probably spend about 10 minutes doing that, just to make sure that it's all there. So you notice a difference now, not sticking as much to the work surface. It's still a very wet, sticky dough though, so be really, really careful. So what you'll notice again, that it starts to sticking again to the work surface. So just making sure that I'm using the scraper. It makes life a hell of a lot easier. There's a scraper, I can get right underneath. So just kneading that dough and making sure all that salt is all integrated into the mix. So at the minute it's a really smooth dough as well, and you can tell it's going to be it's really soft as well. So even at this stage, before we have a long prove overnight, you know that the pizza base, again, when we get the dough ball and we open that out, it's going to be really, really soft and easy to work with. So just a little bit longer now on there. Just a couple more scrapes, making sure that we've got everything in together. Just pick up the last little bits off the scraper, and then we're going to let it rest for another hour. If only it was that quick in real life. So let's lift it off and look at the difference. This time we've got even more gluten, and it's even stronger now, this pizza dough. So we'll have a bit of a slow-mo, and you'll be able to see as we're lifting it up how much stronger it is than the last time. So that's after now 2 rests, the salt, everything's in there now. So we'll take that off, and what we're going to do basically is give it one last little tiny mix, and then we're going to add it into the main bowl for its main 15-minute rest. So it's like air now. It's as soft as air, this pizza dough. So we're just going to lift it off the work surface and into a bit more of a tight bowl, and then we'll put it into the mixing bowl. So there we go. Just scraping round, put the mix into the bowl, scrape round the work surface, make sure we've got everything. We need as much of the pizza dough saving, so that when we get them 7 pizza bases, we've got as much dough in there as possible. So let's cover it up and let's leave it overnight. So that's what it looks like before and after 15 hours. This is what it looks like there. So let's now have a look inside. Wow, look at that. Looks like white Maltesers. All the little air bubbles and pockets and things in there. So the yeast has definitely been working its magic. And what you'll see in a sec is when we bring it out, you'll see all the structure. And it looks absolutely fantastic. So here we go. Let's take it out. So using a bit of semolina flour here, the Caputo semolina flour. It's really, really good. It's like little ball bearings. So it does help with balling up, which is what we're going to do next. So look at that inside of that bowl. Wow. Look at all that structure, all that gluten. Brilliant. That's what we've been working so hard for over the last few hours. So there you go. all the pizza dough is out in bulk onto the work surface, and we're going to just shape it just so it makes it a little bit easier for making it into the pizza balls. So I'm going to cut some off, and we're aiming for about 238 grams per pizza base. So just making it into a bit of a ball. It's not as sticky now, a lot easier to work with. Just make sure you just put a little bit of the semolina flour on, just roll it into that, and when we get the pizza box for putting the pizza ball in, that we just make sure we put a little bit of semolina flour in. So just duck it in and then tip it out, and then place the pizza ball in and seal up. So there we go, and we need to leave them for about 4 hours. That's before and now after. So just before pizza time, let's now have a look at all the ingredients. So got the Lloyd Grossman pizza sauce, got some pepperoni, black olives, sun-dried tomatoes, we've got some chilies, we've got the grated mozzarella, we've got the parmigiano, we've got some ham, and we've got the buffalo mozzarella, which is just drying in some paper towels. So it is really important to make sure that your ingredients are dry, otherwise it will start to make the base soggy and make it stick again. So watch how easy it is to get this pizza ball out of this box. Look at that, straight out, no messing. So let's just start to form a pizza now. So the first thing just to notice, it is super soft, this pizza base. Really nice and easy to shape, but it is also very strong, so it's not going to tear so easily as some other pizza flour. So definitely a big tick in the box for the Caputo Nuvola pizza flour. And the Caputo semolina really is helping here as well. So making sure that we're dusting as much of that off as we can as well as we're going along. Just popping the air bubbles, shaping it out. Let's go in now with some tomato sauce. So don't forget, please subscribe. If you love the videos, give me a subscribe. It really does help the channel. And I really appreciate all the 440 of you that have subscribed so far. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot. So if you also like the video, give it a like as well. That helps too. And, you know, leave a comment. So on with the toppings, stick some pepperoni on. And we've got some black olives on there, some grated mozzarella. I'm going to put the buffalo mozzarella on in a second. I'm going to put some ham on. This one's for Oliver. He likes ham on whilst it's cooking. He likes to have the crispiness of it. He's not too keen on it in its uncooked state. So that's how he likes it. So a bit of shaping before we pop it into the pizza oven, just a bit of a reshape. And you can see there, it's just how soft and how easy it is to handle this pizza dough. So basically now we're going to be doing all this in real time. It's from requests that we've had. Can we film it in real time, not speed it up? So this is exactly the recording, no editing going on. So we need to make sure that flame is on full, and we're about 400 degrees in the Roccbox. So here we go. So what you'll notice next, we'll get the turning peel warmed up. Some people don't warm the turning peel up, some people do. I just find it makes it a bit easier just for getting underneath the pizza, to be fair, when we start to look to turn it. So pop that into the flame just to warm it through. And we'll just wait for that back edge just to start to rise up a little bit. So just once more underneath. And then we'll just make sure that there's nothing sticking underneath, just a bit of a test to put it under. So that's a minute gone, and we're just going to do that now. We're going to turn 180. So what was at the back is now at the front of the oven, and vice versa. So that is now cooking away really nicely. Look at that crust, really looking great already. It's making my mouth water, and I filmed this a couple of days ago. It's nothing quite like the taste of freshly baked pizza. So back under the heat with the turning peel, we're just going to turn it the 90 now, just to make sure that that edge gets a cooking towards the flame. And Again, we'll just leave it there for a little bit longer, let that crust develop at that side. And then we'll turn another 180 so that the final part of the pizza gets the flame. So we're at 2 minutes now and not much longer left, so we'll just give it a couple more turns just to make sure it's just finished off and as evenly cooked around the crust as we can. There we go, it's looking fantastic. It smells fantastic, must have some very envious neighbours, especially for people walking past in the fields. They must think that they're going past a restaurant. So I'll take the pizza out, there we go. Just over 2 minutes to cook that. So onto the chopping board. Looks fantastic. Listen to this. So let's cut it up. Let's have a look inside. We'll open that pizza up so you can have a look at the crust. So the other pizzas we cooked on the day were fantastic. Oliver certainly enjoyed this one, absolutely loved it. And again, tell me what you think, leave a comment. Always welcome. So there we go, a bit more of a close-up inside. Look at that crust. So again, please subscribe if you can. Wow, it looks absolutely amazing, that. Looks absolutely amazing. So there you go, that's the uncut finished product. And here it is inside the crust. So thanks for watching, really do appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.